Hello, today I want to share something rather special with you. A while back I was fortunate enough to order a limited edition, and at the time of this recording still available, piece of history from a company called Cook and Becker. I ordered the collector's edition of Pac-Man, A Birth of an Icon, which includes a fascinating retrospective regarding the history of Pac-Man. When it arrived, I realised how beautifully it had been put together, and I wanted to share some of that with you. This is not a history lesson, I'm just going to show you some of the bits I found the most interesting. So we'll start with a fabulous unboxing, and as you can see, even the packaging has been Pac-Man branded. And inside the packaging, we find a Pac-Man themed box, which I'll open up and explore some of it with you. There isn't a side on the box that hasn't been themed in some way or another, so let's get the shrink wrap off and have a look inside. And there we have it. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? But what's inside? You can see as I pull the box apart, the famous glitchy level 256 is shown, obviously only seen by those hardcore fans. Turning it over reveals, as you might expect, a game screen. But this is just another sleeve. And as I empty it out, there's two things inside. The first, a small book which contains a 7-inch vinyl record, with a recording of the hit Pac-Man Fever by Bucknell and Garcia. And on the B-side is the same song again, but with some commentary. Now I would absolutely love to play this for you, but firstly, I don't currently own anything that will play this, and secondly, YouTube would tell me off about copyright. So instead, you'll have to click the card above and go to the official video. I'm sure you'll all agree, it's been very nicely presented. But what's this at the top? It's an exclusive Pac-Man arcade token. For those of you who are old enough to remember using tokens in the arcade, you'll love this. On the one side, we have one of the ghosts, and on the other, a cartoon Pac-Man. That's a nice little collector's touch. So what else is in the box? Well, from the weight of it, I can tell you it's a very thick book, and I'm going to flip through some of the pages so you get an idea of the content. So obviously I can't show you every page in the book, and besides, I don't want to spoil it for you. But I will share a few of my favourite pages from it. The book is separated into various chapters, but I'm going to start with chapter 3, Finding Puckman. For those that don't know, Pac-Man wasn't the original name of the game. This name came from the Japanese word paku, meaning chomp. When the game was translated for the American market, it was pointed out that the centre of the P in the first word could be scratched off, revealing a less than desirable word. So Puckman became Pac-Man. As a developer myself, and having once or twice made a few Pac-Man games, I found these original drawings really interesting. I remember doing this sort of thing with bits of graph paper left over from school. I guess later on the designs were improved upon, and these are very recognisable. It's amazing these original designs still exist. But did you know the ghosts had different nicknames? Well, obviously, we all know about Blinky, Pinky, Inky and Clyde, but that's not their original names. The real names give a hint as to their behaviour, and the original Japanese names translate to Pursuer, Ambusher, Fickle One and Dopey One. There's an original American names too. But if you want to know what they are, spoilers, you'll have to get the book. As with any game, level design is very important, and it's hard to believe these days that it was designed on paper. These days it's probably all done on computer, and with a proper level design tool. It gives you a real sense of how much work would have gone into the original game. And now we have some source code. I love a bit of source code, don't you? Even if it is assembly language. As I'm into electronics, I'm obviously drawn to pictures like this showing the joystick assembly and the parts required. I dare say the manual probably included the full schematics for the game, and there's nothing like a close-up view. Did you know that in order to upgrade one of the GCC Midway Pac-Man games to Miss Pac-Man, a daughter board was created that plugged into the original Pac-Man board, and then the cabinet would be rebranded for the new game? Kind of like game cartridges, I guess. It's amazing how such a simple game grew into such a large variety of games and culture. Games like Pac-Land, a different style of game altogether, but still featuring our original pizza-shaped protagonist, although this time with legs. And then there's Pac-mania. Well, I remember playing that on the Amiga. I always enjoyed that, with the subtle differences and catchy music. But have you heard of Count Pacula? Well, whilst this game was never released, it was redesigned for a TV show. And just as you would have expected with the culture explosion this game created, there's merchandise too. From board games to clothing and blankets. It really was such a revolution when it came out. But I guess I was probably a little bit too young to appreciate this. This is some of the artwork for the manuals of later console versions. It's really cool. And of no surprise, on page 256 of the book, lies a picture of the famous level 256. The designers never expected anyone to play this far into the game, and as a result, upon reaching this level, the screen became corrupted. The book explains exactly why this happens, so I won't spoil it for you. Still, a really interesting read, and for anyone that's developed a game or written software will probably have experienced similar issues themselves. Now I know it's only a brief look, but if I was to show you it all I'd be here for days, and besides, that wouldn't be very fair to the authors. If you're into Pac-Man and its history, I strongly recommend this pack, and no, they haven't sponsored me to say that. The detail and design this collection has to offer, along with its presentation, makes the price alone worth it. I've left a link to the company in the video description in case you're interested. I really hope you've enjoyed sharing this collection with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Wakka Wakka Wakka!